If you really want to make it with crypto and FOMO into crypto the right way, then you have to understand the market. I know I can make a video with the 10 best altcoins and that's way more attractive for you to click on, but it's actually not that easy. If you understand the market, you will actually make money and know how to deal with that money to keep it and to make sure that you make a lot more of that money. So if you like the video already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. There is a Patreon link down below where you get a lot of exclusive content, so go check it out. But also in this video, I would like to not only go over how to understand the crypto market, so you know when to buy altcoins, which altcoins to buy, how to buy, because it's not that simple. I would also like to go over a part of my crypto portfolio. I started with that video yesterday, but I didn't have time to finish that. So I will want to show you the second half of that video right now as well. Plus, there's a crypto hack, basically crypto life hack, well, however you want to call it, that I'm using. So at first, understanding the crypto market. It's like I said, people make a lot of videos, or people on Twitter, they say that like, hey, this is my altcoin watch list. And I know that's super clickbaity. It gets you most views as a content creator. It raises a lot of discussion because once people agree, they like your video. And if they disagree, then well, they comment on it. And these people get whatever they want anyway. However, I don't think that's the most fair way to talk to your audience, as it's not that easy. Like I said, you have to understand the market cycle. If you go through a bull market and a bear market, then you know that it's a little different. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2013 for $400, which was well, somewhere here, I guess. I don't know exactly. And the problem is that I did not know what I bought. So I sold my whole Bitcoin for $800. I thought I was genius. Made it 2x on my money. Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I could have better hold it. Then the rest, I didn't really do much with it. 2017, I lost all my money. I came back to crypto. I wrote money that I didn't really had to the upside. Made money. I thought it was going to last forever. Not knowing really about bull and bear cycles, and I kept on buying altcoins all the way down, and at a certain point I noticed like, hey, my money, it's completely gone, what the fuck. So that was that cycle. Now in this cycle I did way better. Still did not really do that well. I could have taken better profits at the tops, or at around the tops at least, and saved a lot more money for the way down. Okay, cool. Lesson learned. We apply that in the next market. And I think I know what my flaws and my strength are right now. Now, again, if I say you have to understand the market cycles, then if you already understand the market cycles, you might know what these blue lines are. These blue lines are the Bitcoin halving. And there, I know there is not a lot of data to go with, right? So if you want to not maybe predict the future, but at least have a good estimate of what the future is going to look like, you can only get the information based on what happened in the past. We don't have that much information. Like, it's slightly more than a decade of information, but it's not like there's 100 years. Like, it's not that it's no S&P or anything, right? But what we do know is that every cycle we had so far turned out to do exactly the same. Whatever the reason was for the market to go up or down, at the end of the day, the charts looked exactly the same. Why? Crypto is super cyclical. That's just what it is. And you can be on top of news, and you can look like, well, this time is different. This time we have no money printing. Oh, this time we had COVID. This time we have war. Or the other way around, like, oh, this time we're getting an ETF. This time we are going to the moon. There are always good and bad scenarios. Over here as well, we had the worst shit going on, basically, and the best stuff. At the end of the day, the market did what the market did always, right? So I've said this many times before on the channel. But if you're new or if you haven't seen this video, this is going to be super interesting for you. If you have seen this, then it's again still interesting, because I wish in last cycles I had somebody who would have taught me the same fucking thing over and over and over again, because sometimes I need it. I need that information, like really take it, FOMO, take it, right? Not listening to it once and then go back to crypto banter and buy shit anyway and mess up. It's not what you want. No offense, but yeah. So a market cycle, and this goes for crypto, but it also goes for the stock market. It has 4 phases, right? And I don't know if you can guess what the 4 phases are. The 4 phases are, depends on where you begin, right? Sideways, right? And I don't draw it like this because sideways is never sideways, right? Down is never down, or up is never up. It always does something like this, okay? But overall, sideways, that's a phase. Then we have the second phase of the market, which is up, at the upward trends where you make money. The distribution phase and the downwards trend. And then it starts over, right? So you can draw it like this forever. That's what we see on the charts as well, right? You have an accumulation phase. That's sideways. That's where you buy. Sorry, you didn't see it. You have here your accumulation phase. That's where you buy. It's where you prepare. Then you have the uptrend. It's where you make your money. That's not necessarily where you do have to buy or do have to sell. Either could work. But you want to already be in crypto before this happens. Then you have the distribution phase, where it basically goes a little sideways at the top. That's where you can offload. That's where you have to get rid of everything that you have. Take what you made and wait until the next accumulation phase starts, which is here. But in between, we also have a downward trend. That's where you can be in crypto by learning, building, reading, but not by investing. This doesn't go for trading, by the way. I'm not making this video as a trader. If you think like, yeah, no, I also make money in the downwards market, congrats. If you're trading it, you can do it in any type of market. This goes for investing. So in a downwards market, you just do not want to invest. Now, that's the market cycle. And it played out every time again so far. We have an accumulation phase, upwards trend, distribution, downwards trend. We have an accumulation phase, upwards trend, distribution, downwards trend. We have an accumulation phase, and now we are getting the upwards trend. Now, what I think is that if you look, we have the Bitcoin halving coming at around April 2024, so like 200 days away or so. Halving, boom. Halving, boom. We had a halving here somewhere, I think. Boom. We have the halvings, which are doing very, very, very well for us. And let me, my brain is not doing well. Yeah, we had, not really, not the halving we had in 2012, which was, yeah, somewhere there, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But we get a halving in around April 2024. So what do you, based on this chart, expect? Well, for it to go up, right? Now, some people might say, yeah, everybody expects that, so it's not going to happen. Look how smart I am. No, you're stupid. Because you are exactly the type of guy or girl, whatever, it could be anything these days, that's going to get wrecked because you want to think different. You think you can outsmart the market while you can't. The market is predictable. And I'm not saying like, hey, if I want to predict what the market is going to do, I can do that. I'm doing that in this video. I'm not going to say like, hey, it's, I don't know, April 2025 and Bitcoin is sitting at $370,000 on a Tuesday. Like, that's not like realistic. But you can predict like, hey, after the halving, we go up. Then you can, of course, always do the calculations from like, hey, since the halving, how far did we go up right here? 3,200%. Since the halving, how much did we go up right here? 700%. So that's an average of around 2,000%, right? So you could say like, if we are here around the halving and we can go up like 2,000% or so, that till the next stop, Bitcoin could be sitting at around $600,000, right? That's very like based on like two things, so it's probably not going to work out like this. But you can take a lot of averages and mess around with that to predict what's likely, right? I mean, it's fucking science. It's averages. It's statistics. That works better than just saying like, there's an ETF coming, Bitcoin to $1 million based on nothing. Like, yeah, you can do that, but probably not gonna work out for you, bro. So you want to understand the cycles. And again, if you think like, hey, this time is gonna be different, well, if I overlay 2019, for example, on this cycle, it's gonna look pretty fucking identical. 2015, kind of the same, right? And of course, Bitcoin here went down in like August. Bitcoin here had the second leg down in March next year, right? So that's a big difference. So let's say the average is around December. Could we have our final leg down in December? Could be, right? So far, the market only showed us like every time so far, for example, we had that second leg down, right? But people don't believe it here because too much good news. What do you think? Bitcoin did a 2x. Bitcoin here did a 4x in this cycle. Believe me, people here were screaming that it won't come down either, right? This chance looked way smaller. If you here at 14K told people like, yeah, we're going back to 4K, they would be like, you fucking bear, you fucking fuddy, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on, and it happened. Now we just did a 2x. And people already be like, yeah, no, bottom is in, can't go any lower. Like, I think the bottom is in, but I'm not saying that it can't go below 20K again, right? Matter of fact, it's fucking likely that that's going to happen because it happened every time before, right? And that's not, again, that's not me saying like, hey, this is going to happen, but you want to look at statistics. You want to look like, hey, it's not that it happened like 3 out of the 5 times or whatever. It happened every time so far. So that makes it quite likely that it's also going to happen this time. Could this time be different? Yes, but the odds are small. I'm not saying it can't, right? So that's with crypto. Therefore, you don't want to listen to people that say like, hey, it is going to happen or it is not going to happen because these people don't know. They also just make their best guess. So I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I don't know, but my best guess is that Bitcoin will go down at around the end of the year, probably around, right? Could be like next month, could be February. I don't know. It's probably not October next year or so, right? And then after the halving, maybe do nothing for a while. Therefore, I have this white line, July, and then go up. Why? Well, if we look at the halving, I said halving, boom. Yeah, okay. But if you zoom in a little bit more, let me put it on the weekly to make it a little more clear. If you zoom in a little bit more, we had the halving right here, right? So if we look when we had the halving and we look at when we started to go up from the halving, when was that? 16 weeks later. 16 weeks. That's a long fucking period, right? If we look at this halving right here, we had the halving here, and we were still sitting at that same here, basically. We were still kind of sitting around the same price also, like 16 weeks later, right? So that's 4 months after the halving, basically, that Bitcoin really went up. So April, May, June, July, August, something like that. Like, we can also put it here, right? Beginning August, I don't know. It depends on when the halving is going to be exactly. It depends on the block, so that's not confirmed, of course, but somewhere around here. Okay. Why do we need to know all of this? Because before the halving, in the pre-halving year, where we are right now, is the way you want to prepare, right? So if you feel like, hey, I look at my bank account, I have 10K, I want to invest in crypto, but I want to DCA, of course, because I have a brain. I'm not going to go all in like a noob, watch too much YouTube videos. Like, we want to do it a little strategically. Or how much weeks do we have from now until August 2024? This and that much. I have this much money. Let's divide it so I know how much I can dollar cost every week, right? Then you can dollar cost whatever the fuck Bitcoin does, dollar cost this whole way. You have a very good entry, and then boom, you guarantee. Well, nothing is guaranteed, but it's pretty guaranteed relative terms for crypto that you will make money with that, right? This is more like a fucking masterclass because there is a lot of information on how you can, how you can do your strategy. Because then people feel like, yeah, you're talking about Bitcoin, boring fucking coin. This boring fucking coin gave you like multiple access every time with the lowest risk in crypto. Of course, if you feel like, hey, I want to not make a 20x but a 50x, and I'm also prepared to lose it, yeah, then you can go to the altcoin world, of course. But still, then it's a matter of, are you doing that strategically, right? Because altcoins are not necessarily doing well when Bitcoin does well. And I've been preaching that on this channel for a year, more than a year now. And it shows. It shows. Because this, for example, is the Bitcoin dominance, right? This is how much Bitcoin dominates the crypto space. This has been going up, right? For the whole year, this has been going up. Basically, since September last year, blep, up that much, right? So you might feel like, yeah, my altcoins are okay. Yeah, it could be that some still do okay, but it's only because Bitcoin does well. If it depends on your altcoin, it's going down, right? Unless your altcoin is doing well on its Bitcoin pair, then congratulations. But altcoins are not doing well against Bitcoin, right? If you look at the total altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, for example, yeah, like this is the example of like what I just showed you, like the four phases: accumulation, uptrend, distribution, downtrend. Accumulation, uptrend, distribution, downtrend. Where are we now? Halfway the fucking downtrend, right? But if you buy altcoins, you're basically saying like, hey, no, I don't know why it's different or what's different, but for some reason this downtrend is now going to stop and we go full blast back to the moon again. Why? Based on the narrative that Bitcoin might get an ETF, that's not good for altcoins, that's good for Bitcoin. Based on what exactly, right? Don't assume that something is going to be different just because you want it to be different. Actually look first, and if you are really convinced about, yeah, but this is actually different, then play that. But don't be like, hey, I bought some altcoins without research, so I'm gonna just say that this time is different because I want to believe that. It's like, I think how most people do, and that's not gonna work out. It's how I did it in the past as well. It didn't work for me. The only thing that was different is that I couldn't pay my bills anymore. So this is going down. This broke down on a shorter time frame. This broke down. Altcoins are rekt against Bitcoin, right? So why did I talk about buying Bitcoin? Well, I've been doing that for around a year right now, right? And as you can see, altcoins broke down against Bitcoin. So you can now buy, you made money with your Bitcoin in the first place. And you can now buy altcoins with that Bitcoin because Bitcoin is also, these altcoins are listed on their Bitcoin pair, right? You can now buy these altcoins on their lows with your Bitcoin that you are in profit on. Pretty easy trade, right? And for the people that still feel like, I don't understand what the fuck you are talking about, sir. Let me show you something real quick. This chart might give you a better understanding. For example, this is just an example. Gala, right? Gala has been going down like every altcoin basically did, right? Except your exceptions. But I'm not here to talk about accepting the exceptions and blah, 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 right? Overall, chart that I've just showed you. But Gala, for example, has been going down. Okay, cool. Then you can say like, yeah, but Gala is at a low and you should buy it and fuck Bitcoin. If you look at Gala on its Bitcoin pair, it's also going down, right? And you might feel like, yeah, but it's like, it's down 93%. How bad is it, right? It's down just 96%. That's just 3% difference. How bad is it? Look at the numbers. 100 Satoshis, 50 Satoshis. This is half. This extra 3% from this point matters, right? Extra percentages matters. It's my new t-shirt. If you turn this chart around, so this is how much Gala you can buy with Bitcoin. right? You can now buy a lot of Gala with your Bitcoin, right? Here you had to pay 1,400 sats for 1 Gala. Now you can just pay 50 sats for 1 Gala. If you turn it around, it basically shows you a different picture. This is how much Gala you can buy with your Bitcoin. Okay, so or this is how much Bitcoin you can buy with your Gala, basically. So Bitcoin has become worth way more against Gala, right? So if you look at it like this, whenever this chart started, Bitcoin is now up over the last 1.5 years, 14x against Gala. 14x. Okay, let that sink in. So if you had Bitcoin here, you wait, and now you can sell your Bitcoin for 14 times more Gala. And what did you do in the meantime? Being in the safest asset in crypto. So if you want Gala that much, and that, again, this goes for, I know there are people that don't give a fuck about Gala, but this happens to be the chart that I have right here. We can basically pull up any chart here, right? And it looks the same, right? If you love your altcoin that much, then it's way better to be in an asset that's the safest crypto asset, safer than USDT, safer than Ethereum, safer than anything combined, right? And two, you just have to wait 1.5 years and you can buy 15 times more of your altcoin that you love so much for the same price. Not bad. So people that say, yeah, you should not be in Bitcoin, I don't know. You try to argue why this wasn't a good idea, right? Because you might miss out on an altcoin. Bro, it's a bear market. If there's an altcoin running right now, there are a few, I know. Fuck that. Don't get emotionally attached. Why should you now have FOMO, right? It's a bear market, for fuck's sake. The bull market will come. You will make your 10, 20, 50x's. You will, right? If you now buy an altcoin, the chance is 99.5% that it will get wrecked. If you do that in the bull market, it's completely different. If you want to gamble your money for that 0.5%, go ahead. If you have so much FOMO, but I would say then you are too emotionally attached to that project. So that's my strategy. Dollar costing into Bitcoin, and then later buy altcoins with your Bitcoin. Like this is my DCA 2023 watchlist, for example. Like Illuvium, right? Illuvium. Here, check this out. A lot of people like Illuvium. ILV, BTC. Okay, if a lot of people like Illuvium, let's take a look at Bitcoin on its Illuvium chart. So same thing, right? The two gaming coins. I don't know if you give a shit about that, but again, basically every chart looks like this right now. If you like Illuvium, great. But here you have to pay 31 Illuvium. Or here you had 31 Illuvium. If you sold that, you would have got 1 Bitcoin. Here, you now have to sell 711 Illuvium coins to get 1 Bitcoin. And so it's also the other way around, right? So it's funny that if you just hold Bitcoin, you would have made a 22x, right? 22x. So if you want to have Illuvium, you could be in Bitcoin right here. Wait. Illuvium is now 22 times as cheap. You can now buy 22 times as more, right? That's kind of what it is. That's how you have to take a look at it. So for 1 Bitcoin, if you had 1 Bitcoin and you wanted to buy Illuvium in November 2021, you got 30 of them. 30. For a whole Bitcoin, you got 30 Illuvium. Now, for that same Bitcoin, you will get 700. It is so clear, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, the life hack. launch pads. I don't want to make that too long. What I'm doing, because I like new projects, I like altcoins, of course, but I want to have a little guarantees, right? Therefore, I'm in launch pads like Cedarfy, for example. Cedarfy chart also looks like shit, but it doesn't matter because they give me access to launches, to pre-sales, to seed sales, to private rounds, everything. And a lot of these launch pads like Cedarfy have a refund policy. So if the lunch doesn't work out, you get your money back. Try to buy something on Binance, and if it goes down, you'll be like, hey, CC, hey, bro, what the my money? He'd be like, no, he'd be like nothing. He won't even read your fucking message. But that, that's the guarantee of a lunch pad, and that's my crypto hack. I've been making a passive income with this so fucking hard. Really quick about the altcoins that I wanted to discuss yesterday, but that I haven't discussed yet. I have it on my phone. Wait 1 second. Let me see. Porn. Just kidding. Porn. All right. Ultra. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I'm not trying to figure it out anymore. Sometimes you just don't want to understand stuff. Ultra is a project that I have on my watch list. And Ultra is, people say, like, this is the Steam of crypto, and it's really what it is. The price haven't been performing really well. Same case, right? Ultra is down 94%. Now, like, again, that's a lot of Ultra that you can get for your Bitcoin right now compared to here. But let's not flip that chart as well. But I think you will get the point, right? But Ultra will eventually get into a zone that I feel like, yeah, this is interesting. And I also mainly look at Ultra or all altcoins on its Bitcoin pair. And yeah, what you want to take a look at, for example, before you buy it, fuck that line, is how is it holding up against Bitcoin? Because of everything I've just showed you, right? Because if it's not holding up against Bitcoin, then why the fuck would you buy that altcoin in the first place? You take more risk for less reward. Doesn't make any sense. But how does it hold up? Well, so far it doesn't, right? Lower lows, lower highs. So is Ultra a good buy right now? No. It's on my watch list though. It's a project that I really want to have in the bull run. I think this could easily do a 10x easy. But the nice thing is, if it first comes down to like this point, then it can do a 20x, right? By going to the same point, right? Like if it does a 10x from here, or this against Bitcoin, it doesn't really make sense in this case. If Ultra does a 10x from where it's sitting right now, it goes here, right? To 150 or so. And that's nice. It's okay, right? But you can still make a 20x without Ultra going higher than that, and that's just by buying it lower. And that goes for every altcoin. A lot of people, they, like I said yesterday as well, they forget about their entry points. They only focus on the exit points, and they be like, oh, if this goes to the moon, no, yeah, it probably doesn't. So just make sure that your entry is as low as possible. But you also fuck that up because you have too much FOMO and you didn't watch this channel before. You should really subscribe right here, bro. It's a fun place. Next one, Falcon Forge. It's a lot of gaming, but yeah, my belief is that crypto gaming will be enormous. Will be the biggest niche in crypto probably. Falcon Forge, yeah, price-wise, it has been ranging for 1.5 years basically between $5 and $3 and $5, give or take, 2.5 maybe. It's now sitting at the lower side of the range. So when you look here, specifically at its dollar pair, they would say like, okay, this is at least a better place to buy than here. Then you also don't want to get your dick out right away and also look at its Bitcoin pair. Is it? I don't know. What Falcon Forge did is got rejected, broke out, and now it looks like it can do this, right? It's possible. So what I want to see is, again, that it holds up against its Bitcoin pair, right? If it's finally holding up against Bitcoin and maybe even goes up against Bitcoin, no matter what Bitcoin does, if it goes up, down, sideways, then it's at least showing like, hey, it's finally worth it. Otherwise, I could have just bought Bitcoin and then I at least don't take all these risks of being into an altcoin, right? So yeah. Next one, also definitely something I would not buy right now yet. but it is something that I think is good for a bull run, is Illuvium. Illuvium is a fantastic looking game, lots of development, lots of hype, but the price just sucks, right? It's sitting at the lower. Let me remove this. It doesn't make sense. I already know where this is going. Don't need Fibby. Illuvium also broke out, and now it's kind of meh. It's holding up right here, definitely, when it comes to the price, but it's only because Bitcoin holds up, right? That's how you want to take a look at it. Look at it like this. Another thing, Illuvium here sits at $94, right? Because Bitcoin is sitting at 27.5. All right, but here Illuvium was sitting at the same level, while Bitcoin was sitting at 19K. So one, while Illuvium hasn't moved, Bitcoin went up 40%, so you missed out. Two, what the fuck do you think will happen if Bitcoin goes back to just 19K? That's why you do not buy altcoins too soon. So yeah. I don't know what yeah. Illuvium on its Bitcoin pair, yeah. Therefore, right, like it hasn't been holding up. It has been making lower lows and lower highs like crazy. This chart is absolutely terrible, and this chart shows you like, hey, if you bought this, well, there was no good place to buy it yet. Yeah, unless you bought this exact bottom. But if we're going to cherry pick the bottoms, like you did not buy that exact bottom. Let's be honest. And we're not trading, we're investing anyway. So look at such charts. Wait for the moment. Wait for it. It will come. It will definitely come. But if you would have bought, like, I liked Illuvium a couple of months ago already. But if I bought it back then, yeah, then I could have easily lost 70% of my Bitcoin, right? Or cash, whatever the fuck you bought it with. But that you like it doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy it right away. That you like it could be the biggest reason for you not to buy it, right? Because you want as much as possible. And therefore you want to get a lower entry because you do not want to rob a bank. Otherwise you would have already, then you won't need it. You get the point. I'm wrapping this up, guys. Taking too long. Check out the Patreon. Again, there is a link down below. Lots of interesting information right there. Exclusive videos, podcasts, my portfolio, maybe a good striptease. No, I don't know. It's like, please just check it out. Bye-bye.